86 surf SUP. I just thought I'd take a minute and give you a quick look over it. Firstly, we'll have a look at dimensions and the features of the board. So obviously it's 8'6" long, it's 31 inches wide and it's 4.5 inches thick, so it's quite a high volume board. 8'6" is quite a long SUP, 31 inches wide, it's a very wide body board, and 4.5 inches thick is quite chunky. So it's coming in at the high 120s to 130 litre mark, which makes it a super stable surf SUP. It's really, really easy to ride. Now, it comes obviously with a self-breathing air vent in the front here, double leg rope plugs in the rear. It's got a nice diamond deck grip here, so it gives you plenty of traction. It's got a kicker here at the tail of the deck grip, so you can really drive it off the back foot, and that's essential on a board that's this large. Now, it's also got a carbon deck patch in the standing area here on the deck. Now, that's to give the deck a little bit more rigidity. I find I'm very heavy-footed in the surf. Most people are, but I'm extremely heavy-footed, and I've had a bit of an issue in the past where I tend to sink the decks of my boards quite a bit. So I've been playing around with these carbon deck patches just to give it a bit more strength in the deck, and it's working fantastically. I'm not sinking my decks at all anymore, so that's working wonders. Now, the 8.6 comes in this smoky grey colour or a nice sky blue colour. You can check them out on the Pressure System website if you'd like to have a look at the blue. Now, this board comes in quite heavy at around 8.5 kilos. The reason for that is it's glass quite heavy, it's fiberglass and epoxy. I haven't gone full carbon with this board because I'm finding some boards can be a little bit too light. Now, everybody has their own preference about this, but I don't like to have a board that I can only ride in really perfect glassy conditions. For those of you that SUP, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. I like to have a board that I can get out there when there's a bit of wind, bit of chop, and it still ploughs through and performs brilliantly. This board's doing it all. It's fantastic. Now, this is actually a demo model. It's the one that I'm riding. I've been riding this one solidly for about 3 or 4 weeks now. So if anyone's interested in having a ride, just call me anytime or give me a message on Facebook, and you're more than welcome to meet me at the beach and just take it and have a few waves. That's the way we work here. You can try any of our boards, but with our surf SUPs, please feel free to give me a call and get it out in the waves and see what you think. Now, let's flip it over and we'll check out the bottom of the board. Okay, so let's check out the bottom of this board. Firstly, let's just have a quick look at the rocker. You can see it hasn't got a hell of a lot of nose lift. It's got a nice tail kick in it. I like to keep the nose lift down quite a bit in my SUPs. I find it helps you track nice and straight and helps you get onto waves a lot easier. You can really get the board up and boogieing. I find when the board's got just too much nose kick, it tends to plough into the water a bit. I'm finding this level of rocker is really upping my wave count, so that's what I'm sticking with at this point. So the other factor about that low rocker is it makes the board perform really well on flat water. Because it's quite a large SUP, although it's a surf SUP, you can ride it quite confidently on flat water, say on the Merimbula Lake, for example. I do have a local lady that's paddling one just on flat water. I was watching her the other day. She's tracking dead straight and she's really driving the board nicely through the flat due to the nice shallow curve in the board. Now, the bottom contour consists of a single concave in the nose through to a double concave through the belly, a nice deep double concave, into some V in the tail. That's what I'm running in pretty well all my SUPs, except for the Wombats, which is slightly different. Now, it can be ridden as a quad or a thruster. I have a large rear fin box here, so the option to put a larger rear fin in, there is an option to put a larger rear fin in. Now, with these boards, I will be selling a set of these 4 smaller carbon fiberglass fins and a large 8-inch rear fin to go into the fin box. Now, I've surfed this board as a thruster and a quad. I'm loving it as a quad. It's fantastic as a quad. I was a bit concerned about the size of these fins, but it's really biting in beautifully. I haven't had any issues at all. But on the bigger days, say when you're getting up to head and a half double overhead and it's quite sucky, say on a nice beach break, it's a good idea to ride it as a thruster and put the 8-inch fin in so you can get really nice bite off the bottom. Anyone who's done quite a bit of SUP surfing on small boards will understand that when you're taking off on a really quite a large sucky wave and you get halfway down the face and you lift all 4 fins out of the water, you get a real nice twitch happening that can get the heart fluttering a bit. So sometimes it's nice to have a nice big 8-inch fin in the rear, pushed nice and forward to keep the board nice and loose. Ride it as a thruster, and you can really dig it into those bottom turns, and you don't have to worry about it slipping out at all. Although, while we're talking about the slipping thing, it's really fun to ride as a quad. You can really slide the tail a bit with these smaller fins. It's really good. So with the 8.6 Surf SUP, you get 4 of these smaller carbon fiberglass fins and one of these 8-inch rear fins for the rear fin box. Now let's just have a quick chat about the performance of it in the surf. I've ridden this in a hell of a lot of conditions, on a little bit of reef and on beaches, and it's performing sensationally. I've had it in sort of waist-high waves and overhead waves, and it's just got heaps of speed. It handles well in small waves. I haven't had it at its upper limit yet, but it just feels like, I don't know, if it handles 6 foot, no worries at all. It's a really nice, easy to paddle board, really easy to ride, and I really recommend you to give me a call and have a go on it. I'm really keen for a few people to have a crack and see what they think. Don't be too concerned about the size. Due to the width and the thickness, it's a super stable board. So thanks for watching. I look forward to your call, and I look forward to getting out on the surf with you and having a few waves and having a bit of a chat.